Welcome back. This is the third lesson recording for IM1, February 26, 2021. We're going to shift gears now a little bit and we're going to work with percentages, level 1. We're going to start really easy. And this is not an exercise in using the calculator. It is really trying to figure out using your mental math. Okay, so you're doing this in your head or you're going to do a simple calculation on paper. Okay, so you can do it on paper, but no calculators, please. And we're going to try to see if you can get some sense of how to manipulate numbers so that we can get a good grasp of how big the numbers are and so on and so forth. So if I asked you, what is 50% of 20? Okay, 50%. What is 50%? Well, that is the same as half, isn't it? 50% is same as half because it's 50% means it's 50 out of 100, so that's like half of 20. So you halve the 20 and you get 10. So hopefully this was pretty easy. What if I asked you, what is 50% of 70? Can you try to split 70 into half? What is half of 70? That's going to be 35. Then what is 25% of 80? Okay, 25% is 1/4. It's same as a quarter, or it's a half of a half. So what you can do is you can take a half of 80 first, which is going to be 40, and then take half of that again, which is going to be 20. So take half of 80, that's half of 80 is 40, and half of 40 is 20. So hopefully you're doing the halving twice to get the 25%. What is 25% of 58 then? Okay, you can certainly do this on paper, but do not use the calculator. Can you split 58 into half? What is that? That's 29. Can you split the 29 into half again? That's going to be 14.5. So hopefully you're getting the hang of it. Let's extend that to level 2. All right, what is 10% of 80? Okay, what does 10% mean? That means it's 1/10 of some number. Okay, that means you're dividing it by 10. So when you're dividing a number by 10, that means you can move the decimal place. So currently the decimal place is right here. So we want to move the decimal place one place to the left, and it's going to be right there. So that becomes 8. Okay, so when you're dividing by 10 is easy because you just get rid of the 0 or whatever the decimal place is. You're going to move it to the left by 1 position. What about what is 10% of 67? Again, the decimal point is currently right here. Whoops. Is right here. But you're going to move that one place to the left. So that's going to make it smaller. So it's going to be 6.7. So 67 divided by 10 is 6.7. What is 30% of 80? Okay, now we're not talking about 10%, we're talking about 30%. Now can you figure out what 10% of 80 is? Remember, 10% will be moving the decimal place from where it is right now here to the left by 1. So 10% of 80 is going to be 8. So 30% is going to be 3 times the 8. So that's going to be, so 10% of 80 is 8. So then to get 30%, you're going to multiply 8 by 3 to get 24. What about 70% of 80? Okay, now again, we can divide 80 by 10 to get 10%. What's 10% of 80? That's 8. Then what is 70%? That means we want 7 lots of 10%. So we're going to multiply 8 by 7, and that's going to give us 56. Alright, then let's keep going. Alright, then what is 1%? Okay, remember to get 10%, we move the decimal place to the left by 1. So if you're talking about 1%, we're really talking about 100. Oops, 100. That is same as dividing by 100 to get 1%. So that means we are going to move the decimal place 2 places to the left. So it's going to be, the new decimal place is right here. So it's 0.6 right there. What is 1% of 450? Currently the decimal place is here, but we're going to move 2 to the left. So the decimal place is now here for the 1%. So that's going to be 4.5. Okay, so divide 450 by 100 is 4.5. Let's keep extending that. Then you can figure out what 1%, if you can figure out what 1% is, can you figure out what 7% is? This is same as finding the 1% and then multiplying by that, whatever the 1% is, by 7. So we need to start by figuring out 1%. What's 1%? The decimal place is right here, but we move it to the left by 2. So 1% is going to be 0.6. So 7% is 7 times 0.6. So that is going to be 0.6 times 7, which is 4.2. Alright, then what about 4% of 450? Again, you're moving the decimal place 2 places to the left to get 1%. So 1% of 450 is 4.5. Now to get 4%, I am going to multiply 4.5 by 4. So that's going to be 4.5 multiplied by 4. Okay, so we're multiplying 4.5 by 4. That means multiplying by 4 means you're doubling it and then doubling it again. So doubling 4.5 will be 9. Doubling 9 will be equal to 18. So in this case it will be 18. Right, so I would like you to pause the video and take these notes down. Okay, so when you're talking about mental math with percentages, to figure out 50%, you're going to divide it by 2. To figure out 10%, you're going to divide things by 10. That also means move the decimal place to the left by 1 spot. To calculate 1% of a number, you're going to divide by 100. Another way to think about it is to move the decimal place to left by 2 spots. To figure out 25%, you're going to divide by 2 times. So 50% of 60 is going to be 30, and then 25% is going to be half of 30, which is 15. Okay, level 4. What if we are dealing with some numbers like we are trying to find 42% of 50? Okay, 42 is kind of a awkward number, or what we can call it ugly number, though no number is ugly, they're all beautiful. But anyway, 42 is kind of an awkward number to calculate mentally. 50 is an easy number, right? So we can say that this is ugly number, but 50 is a nice number. So what we can do is we can actually swap this, because this is same as 50% of 42%, or 50% of 42. So we can think of this as 50% of 42. We know how to do 50% of 42. We just need to half 42. Half of 42 is 21, so I can do that. Likewise, what is 8% of 25? 8% is kind of awkward number. Whereas 25 is a nice number. Okay, so I can swap this as 25% of 8. And 25% of 8 means I need to halve the 8 once. and then whatever that is, I need to halve it again. So half of 8 is 4, and then half of 4 is 2, so 25% of 8 is 2. Now what if you get two ugly numbers? 7.25 is a very it's an ugly number. 68 is also an ugly number. What can I do? In this case, I'm asking you to estimate. Okay, so in that case, I would like you to try to round this up to 68 is close to 70 and 7.25 is close to 7%. So I know that it's going to be close to 7% of 70. So 7% of 70. So 1% of 70 is move the decimal place two places to the left, so that's going to be 0.7. 0.7 times 7 is going to be 4.9. So it's going to be close to 4.9. What about estimate 7.25 of 400? Okay, so in that case, I can estimate this to be about 7%. 7% of 400. 1% of 400 is 4. So 7 times 4 is going to be 28. So I'm looking at about 28. Okay, so now I would like you to take notes on this. Okay, and this just summarizes what we figured out. So please pause the video and copy them down. Moving on. Now we're going to do some word problems. Okay, so let's say Katya's salary increased by 3%. If her salary was $90,000, what's her new salary? Okay, so to figure this out, we need to calculate what is it that we need to calculate. We need to figure out what is 3% of 90,000. Okay, what is 3% of 90,000? Okay, to do that, what we need to do is figure out 1%. 1%, currently the decimal place is right here. So I need to figure out 1%, I am going to move these two places to the left. So 1% of 90,000 is 900. That means 3% is going to be 3 times 900. So 3 times 900 is going to be $2,700. So her new salary is going to be $90,000. I'm sorry, $90,000, and then you add 27,000. So that leaves me with $111,700. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry, that's $92,700. So her new salary is $92,700. The next question is asking you what percentage is her new salary from the all salary. Okay, so the new salary is 90. So the new salary is 92,700 divided by 90,000. That's, if I use my calculator, that's going to be 1.03. Notice that this is where the 3% comes in. But it is 1.03%. It's not just 3%. Another problem. Oh no, Noah's test score dropped by 5% from the last test. His score was 87%. What's his new test score? So to do that, we need to figure out how much is 5% of 87. So what is 5% of 87? Well, can you figure out 10% of 87? That's going to be, move the decimal place to the left by 1, so that's going to be 8.7. Then can you figure out what is 5%? 5% of 5% of 87 is going to be whatever this is, but half of that, that's going to be 4.35. So that means the new score is going to be 87 minus 4.35.